Dark Souls, Cuphead, Elden Ring. These are just a few modern games that have become infamous for their difficulty. One game that became notorious in the 1980s for just how difficult it was, however, was Ghosts and Goblins, a run and gun platformer starring King Arthur as he tries to save Princess Prin-Prin from Satan. Now, I don't like to brag, but I'm pretty accomplished when it comes to gaming feats. I've bested Soda Popinski in combat, beaten Eggman Land with an S rank, and beaten numerous Kaizo levels in Mario Maker. This game couldn't be that hard, could it? But just in case. The game starts us off in a graveyard full of zombies and various ghosts. The first big issue of the game rears its ugly head here, however. The control is incredibly stiff. When jumping, Arthur has no influence over his control in midair, which makes platforming much harder as a result. The control also doesn't feel as responsive as it should be, which is a cardinal sin in a game where you're required to have quick reflexes. Certain enemies in this level also spawn randomly, so you're relying on pure luck to get past a lot of this stuff. And those were the first big hurdles for me at this level. Getting used to the controls and praying that the ghost spawn locations wouldn't fuck me over. It took me 30 minutes and tons of trial and error, but I eventually beat the mini-boss and completed the first level with my sanity intact. For the most part. This stage is where I began to really get frustrated with the enemy placement and level design. We get introduced to these little blue aberrations at the start of the level which are deceptively hard to hit, in conjunction with extremely tight platforming. Nothing in the level gets worse than the ending sequence though, which introduces us to ogres and birds. For starters, ogres take an annoying amount of hits to kill and can launch annoying projectiles if you don't stun lock them quickly enough. Accentuating this issue is the blue birds that constantly pester you while you're dealing with the ogres, which overstays its welcome quite quickly. Even with the luxury of save states at my disposal, this took forever due to the utter randomness of the bird spawns and the fact that I accidentally picked up the fire weapon in one of my runs, which is the worst weapon in the game by far. Piss poor firing rate, and it travels in such a strange arc that makes me take hits from enemies by accident. I'd say crouch while using it to mitigate this issue, but that's when I ran into the second issue I have with the control. You can't move out of the crouching position. You have to let go of the down button first and then continue moving. A boneheaded decision that cost me tons of attempts because Arthur kept taking a shit in the heat of battle instead of running away. This level pissed me off so much due to a combination of horrible enemy spawns and the clunky control. But I managed to get through it through the most intense stroke of luck. This is the level where I finally found the fabled knife weapon, which I already knew of through watching Johnny suffer through this game a few years back. And his words hold true. The knife is the best weapon in the game by a long shot as it's basically an upgraded javelin. Get the knife. Unfortunately, that means fuck all of some of these enemy placements. May I introduce you to the worst enemy type in the game, Red Devils. These little bastards can tank a lot of hits, move quickly, and worst of all, are unpredictable as shit. Combined with Arthur's stiff control, these fuckers are gonna make you want to break your monitor in half whenever you come across them. And there's so many of them in this one stage alone. When will this end, damn it? This level is probably my favourite in the game actually, purely because most of it is based on platforming. Yeah, why wasn't there more of this? There are these annoying little shits later in the level and a few Red Devil encounters, but on the whole, pretty good stage. Who knows, maybe things look up from here. Another strong level? Holy shit, things are finally beginning to pick up. Once again, this level was one of the better ones in the game because it focuses on climbing the tower instead of battling utter abominations. Don't get me wrong, there are tons of annoying enemies in the level, but a large number of encounters are avoidable if you know what you're doing. Who knows, if the ending lands, maybe I might actually not regret wasting my time on this. I have one question, and one question only. Which nincompoop came up with this level design? Fuck me, this might be the worst level in any game I've ever played. 1. You have to fight too many bosses before getting started, or while ghosts pop in whenever the fuck they feel like it. 2. You need to pick up the shield weapon, which has pitiful range, to beat the level. Failure to do so kicks you back to level 5. 3. The latter half of the stage is full to the brim with extremely annoying enemy types. 4. You need to beat 2 Satans to complete the level. And can we talk about that final stretch of the level? Never in my 23 years of living has a game managed to make me feel the pain of the character I'm controlling quite like this one. Red devils swooping in like deranged bats, skeletons that can pop out of the ground, ghosts who blindside you at the worst possible moment, and Shrek's long lost family members who needed to pay their bills. Not to mention the 2 Satans at the end of the stage. Actually, calling this atrocity a stage is generous. This is a psychological experiment designed to break you. Think you're progressing? Fuck you, Red Devil. Plotting your next move ahead of time? Fucking Ghost. When you finally get through with the slightest bit of sanity intact? 2 Satans. And I'm using save states to speed through this abhorrent piece of programming. Imagine what guys like Johnny went through playing this on original hardware. This guy is a complete joke compared to what you went through beforehand. It's really easy to rack up hits on him and... oh? What? I have to play the whole game again? With faster enemies? Just to save some meaty princess? Fuck that bitch. She can burn in hell. Holy shit. Talk about a game that encapsulates archaic design principles though. This was one of the most frustrating experiences I ever put myself through. And there's sequels to this, believe it or not. Maybe someday I'll look at them, but that won't be happening anytime soon. If you really want to play this for whatever reason, use save states.